Hey Jim, it's Bree here with Northland Marketing, recording that video as promised. So I just wanted to take a look at your site here. This is a really nice photo, even though it's a little bit tricky to see the patio. It's a nice looking photo. Anyway, just going to run through your site. I like that you have a call to action right away, and I went through your before and afters, and I really did like the before and afters. I think those could be displayed really nicely. These photos are obviously pretty hard to see. They're a bit blurry. And then that's kind of all there is to the home page, which is the only other thing that is, in my eyes, and from an SEO perspective, kind of an issue, is that there's really nothing to the home page. So the first thing that I recommend is you want to have some stuff on your homepage. You want to have testimonials. You want to have more pictures of your work so people can really see, maybe a link to your gallery. And that's not just in the menu. And we want to kind of explain to people why they want to work with you on the homepage and in your experience and that type of stuff. So now, from an SEO perspective, we want to have about 1,500 words on the homepage, and this is for two reasons. So the first reason being is that Google has these crawlers, and they come through and they read the content and try to figure out what areas you serve and what services you offer. The more content you have on here, the more you're going to be an expert in their eyes. And then in addition to that, the second reason being is you want to beat out your competitors. So if your competitors had 1,000 words, then you would want 1,500 and so on. So for an SEO optimized website, we're doing about 1,500 words on the homepage, along with the other stuff I mentioned. And then within that content, we want keywords. And keywords are things that people will be searching for when they're trying to find you. For example, if someone was Googling landscaping company CT and you had landscaping company CT on your website, you're going to be really relevant for that. And Google's going to be willing to put you higher up at the top. Now, I know you don't want to be found for all of CT, and you certainly don't want to be traveling the full state if you are mainly in Colombia, but I'm just using that as an example. Now, I did a Google search for landscaping company Columbia CT, and the first thing that pops up are these Google business profiles. It does not look like you have one, or if you have one, it may currently be suspended. Either case, it wasn't showing up when I searched for yours. So the biggest piece of advice, aside from rebuilding the website, I can give you is going to be about these Google business profiles. This is something we can help with as well, but will help to get you found even more just in your local area. These are proximity based. It's not going to show up far away. So the main way to get one ranking is by one, having one, so having it and having it verified. Two, filling it out as much as possible. Reviews, the photos, you can post to it like social media. I mean, there's services, there's a lot that can be filled out on these. So like really, really, really filling it out. And then three, having your name, address, and phone number in as many online directories as possible. And online directories are things like Yelp or Yellow Pages. Those online directories, as long as they have consistent information, are going to be linked back to your profile, and that's going to help it to rank. Moving on. Your website actually does show up first for me. So it's not going to be helpful for me to do this audit up against yourself. For that reason, I did a Google search for landscaping company CT just so you can kind of see what I want to talk about, so to make more sense, and I'll go over it. I should have asked you for a secondary town that you wanted to serve so I could do it a little bit more helpful, but for right now, we're just going to do it for landscaping company CT just so you can kind of understand what the heck I'm talking about. The first site is a Connecticut Post, which is just like a newspaper, so we don't care about them. But the first person who's actually ranking is this General Landscaping, which is a crazy name. But anyway, so I come to their site and they've got some really nice photos going on here, which is really eye-catching right away. A little bit about them, their services, their fleet. I like when people who, if you have enough trucks for it to make sense, I like when people take photos of their fleets because they can be really impressive. Some of their badges, and then the bottom of the site. Okay, so their site isn't, it's okay. It's a good looking site. It's not anything crazy by any means. They certainly don't have that much content on here. So let's take a look at why they're ranking. This is a paid program I use to research called Ahrefs, and I use this to kind of snoop in on the back end of a site. This is going to tell me more or less what they're doing and what you need to be out if you wanted to be showing up for specifically landscaping company CT. One of the most important things that I look at when I look at this stuff is the UR and the DR. No matter what website we're comparing it to, the UR is going to be the trustworthiness score with Google. So how trustworthy is their website? And the DR is going to be how powerful is their website with Google. One of the main ways you can raise these numbers is with something called a backlink. Essentially, all this is a brand endorsement or a shout out from another website. So if there's another website and they said, hey everyone, general landscaping is the best ever, check them out, then that's a brand endorsement or a backlink. We're able to go through, so people in other towns that you wanted to get in front of, we'd be able to go through, check out what backlinks, what brand endorsements they have, and attain those for your site. Then lastly, and most importantly, the keywords. So for example, and I know Glastonbury is probably not that close to you, but landscaping, Glastonbury CT, okay, there's approximately 30 people who Google this per month. Landscaping and CT, approximately 30. Connecticut landscaping, approximately 40. And I know your focus is more on hardscaping as well. However, there's far less people searching for hardscaping. Generally, they look for a landscaping company and then just kind of confirm that they do that. But anyway, this is important for us to know. We're able to see the exact terms people are searching for, and then make sure those are on your site. Now, when I put your website into here, we can see the UR and DR ratings are pretty low. And even though your site happened to be showing up first for Columbia, that means there's really not a lot of competition in that area, which is good because your site is relevant enough to show up and it's only going to get better. You will see though that there aren't any real keywords that it's being found for, and this is just because the keywords that people are searching for, like how I just searched for landscaping company Columbia, there's not enough search volume for it to even recognize it. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist, doesn't mean people aren't searching, it just means there's not enough consistent volume for it to recognize it. Anyway, I hope that this is kind of helpful. These are the types of things we are looking for and looking at when we're putting together a package, and just some of the things that we keep in mind as we do a web build. So I hope that that is helpful, and I look forward to speaking with you further. Thanks so much.